Bored with her husband, the wife threw herself into a frenzy of passion with her ex-lover. After 5 fulfilling encounters, she felt satisfied and burst into tears. In the past, he deeply loved someone. He was willing to endure hardships and sufferings for his lover, no matter how much it took. But since she moved to the city and met many handsome and wealthy men, she started criticizing him for being rustic and poor. Later, she fell in love with the company director and left him. While she enjoyed a luxurious life with the man who pampered her, he continued to suffer and couldn't forget his past love. Knowing that she was deeply attached to him, she still married the director because she believed she could live a lavish and wealthy life. And finally, her desire came true. She thought that marrying into a rich family would bring her happiness. However, on their wedding night, when her wealthy husband discovered that she was not a virgin, he threw her out of bed and declared, "You are only fit to be a mistress in my house, dirty and greedy." Feeling hurt, ashamed, and humiliated, she didn't dare to confide in anyone. She silently stayed at her husband's house like a shadow, becoming more and more withered each day. Only when her husband got drunk did he occasionally use her for sexual pleasure, but otherwise, he never touched her. 5 years passed and she became lifeless. She wanted to have children, but her husband wouldn't allow it. Every day, she had to beg her husband for money even to buy groceries. Sometimes he even scolded her for spending too much. She endured all of this because she feared the mockery of friends, neighbors, and relatives. Her husband always maintained a polite and respectable facade outside, but at home, his true nature as a tyrant and oppressor was revealed. On that day, feeling sad, she was browsing Facebook when she noticed her ex-lover's active profile. She jumped in and asked, "Are you doing well?" After 5 minutes, he finally replied, "Since I lost you, I have never been well." Hearing that, she was moved. Looking at the empty bed, she felt even more miserable and suddenly said, "Maybe you should come to a hotel. Would you like to see me once again? I feel so lonely." Hearing her ex-lover say that, he couldn't help but agree to meet her immediately. As soon as he saw her enter with a gaunt face, he hugged her tightly and said, "What happened to you? Marrying a wealthy man, yet you have become like this? Or is he mistreating you? Tell me, I will help you escape, I will take you away." She burst into tears, shaking her head. "No, you don't need to do anything for me. Just being able to share my feelings with you tonight is enough. I need you tonight," she said and pushed him onto the bed. Then she slowly undressed and said, "Will you spend the night with me?" He was puzzled. "Aren't you afraid that your husband will find out? Do you really want this?" She nodded and closed her eyes. Seeing that, he couldn't resist and embraced her passionately. After 5 intimate encounters, she suddenly burst into tears. "It's been so long since I felt genuine love like this. Thank you." He silently held her, comforting her with his touch. Perhaps he already knew what her life was like now, but he didn't want to deepen her pain any further. He stood up, put on his clothes, kissed her forehead, and said, "Whenever you need me, just call me." After he left, she sat alone in the hotel room, tears streaming down her face. She regretted her greed and how it had led her to live such a humiliating life. She wanted to throw everything away and return to him. Can she do that?